Hello, my name is Wild Lee of Wild Lee Tarot, and this is your Moonday Message for the week beginning in October 12th, 2020. And I don't know if you're feeling this in your body as well, but my channel is really feeling a little bit of crunchiness, a little bit of angst. There is something in the field that is creating some dissonance for me. I know astrologically we have many planets that have gone retrograde this season, including Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and in feeling that, along with the slowdown that is happening with the weather. Today is like the first really chilly day where I reside. I'm definitely feeling it in my body. I'm feeling this sensation that something needs to shift. There is just a general, what's on the horizon? What's next? And so tuning into the cards, tuning into what is available energetically for us as a collective. It does not surprise me in the least that the card which came forward is Strength. And I love the Strength card in particular because the being in this card is not what one might expect when you hear the word strength. One might expect to see a person who is quite large and muscly and carrying the energy of I'm going to do, push, become a very, very big, powerful energy. And yet strength is pictured here almost in the form of a child, a small being who is quite narrow and compact. And so the medicine that I receive from the Strength card is this idea that strength has nothing to do with our size. It has nothing to do with our mental pushing. It has nothing to do with taking. Strength literally is the culmination of flexibility and balance, right? Like that is when we are in our strongest, when we are in our power, is when we are both flexible and balanced. And this looks different for different people. You know, this week is holding this energy of taking the time to figure out what makes us feel strong, what makes us feel balanced and grounded, and can we keep our minds and our preferences flexible enough so that we do not lose that ground, we do not lose that which makes us feel as though we are in our own power. I'm really sensing and hearing this word agency. This week is a time for us to really feel our own sovereignty, claim our own agency, and not allow what is happening externally to take that away from us, right? I'm just sensing in the collective, we're moving towards some really big things, at least here in the United States. Some really big events that are very polarized, very charged. This year has been just an example of opposites and taking in all sorts of information that we may not have ever been exposed to before. And it's going to require strength. It's going to require each one of us to tap in to our own innate resilience and find our own balance as we're moving forward in this collective paradigm. And the stone that came forward to support is Nautilus. I don't know if you can see the rainbow in that shell. I love this because it's two different sides. But the message of Nautilus is always one of patterns, repetitions, knowing that time heals all, this too shall pass. This is simply yet another moment in history that we happen to be alive and living through. And the key to moving through these times of instability externally is to find our own strength and agency and groundedness. That's it. We can be a player in the worldwide game, and yet it's still each of our individual responsibility to find our own lane, to stay in the lines of our lives, to really find and figure out where our power lives, where we can affect the most change, have the most impact, and hold our own unique frequency while still being inundated with the information of everyone around us. It takes skill to navigate having all of this influence move through our field and then cherry picking which ones actually resonate with us, which ones actually feel like truth within our body, within our own individual channel, and which ones are someone else's version of reality that we will simply allow to move past and through, right? Or if we need to, knowing to take a step back from all of the media, all of the trolling, all of the fights that are available, and truly begging for us to jump in, truly asking us to step in there and project our discomfort on everyone around us. And it's up to each one of us individually to say, actually, I'm not willing to do that. I'm willing to take in information. I'm willing to do my part to affect change, but I am not willing to involve myself in these energetic exchanges that shame, that blame, that cause strife, that polarize, that separate us from seeing what we actually have in common. So that is the work this week. And the animal that stepped forward to support us in that is fox. And for me, fox medicine is all about keeping our wits about us, staying crafty. And sometimes this means using really deep discernment on whom we share our ideals and truths with. When we're sitting in a space of historical upheaval, like history is being written right now. We're in the age of technology, and 50 years from now, we will be a chapter in a history book as they analyze and process and dissect all of the choices that we today are making and how they have influenced our culture. It's interesting to feel into and think about. And yet we are in it. We are not past it. We don't have the benefit of hindsight. We are in it. And right now, people are polarized. We are not having sane, adult-like discussions. We are having bitter, disempowered fights between one another over things that we have attached ourselves to and aligned our identities with, instead of simply being people with different preferences, trying to work together and find compromises for the whole. And so when we are in a state like that, when we are in that energy, Fox says, let's use some discernment. We don't need to tell the hunters where our den is. We don't need to tell the wolves where our best hunting grounds are. Sometimes we need to simply hold our wisdom and be really cognizant and cautious with whom we share that wisdom. Now is not the time to be putting everything out on the table. I'm not saying don't speak your truth. I'm not saying hide who you are. I am simply offering, in the state of affairs in the collective at this moment, at this time, you are fully and completely invited and given permission to share yourself or not, depending on what might serve. This is part of strength as well, being flexible, knowing our own truth, and also knowing what's going to serve us best. How are we best going to be received, and how might we save ourselves some discomfort and negative energy being placed in our direction based on what our thoughts and feelings are. Can we hold our good boundaries without necessarily needing to engage in another's paradigm and reality? Yeah, that feels like the message for this week. I hope that it serves you well. I hope that you have everything that you need and that you have your people with whom you can fully share and express who you are. If you are in need of any support this week, please know I am available. I offer a wide range of reading opportunities from 15 minutes to 2 hours, whatever you're needing, wherever you find yourself at this time. It can be really, really supportive to sit with someone who can see you and hear you and help you navigate your own journey back into wholeness and personal liberation. If you would like to share space with me, you can find information on how to do so in my bio. Thank you so much. Please like this, please comment, and share with anyone whom you think it might support. Have a beautiful moon day, and I will see you next week.